What if I told you that the red you see might not be the same red that I see? And if we can't agree on something as simple as red, how much of reality can we really trust? In this video, we'll explore how your brain builds its own version of the world, why your reality isn't the same as mine, and what that means for the matrix we all live in. Hi there, I'm Yvette, a neuroscientist and an author of several neuroscience studies. On this channel, I explore how the brain works and decode its mysteries. But most importantly, I like to explore how these facts affect our lives. So, if this sounds like something right up your alley, well, you know what to do. During my PhD, I was a teaching assistant, and in one of the lab practicals, the students had to taste something. For some, it tasted horrid, and for the others, it had no taste. This was used to show them that a small mutation in one's code can bring an important change in the perception of taste. And this is not the only example. We can see this with coriander, where some people say that it tastes like soap and others swear by it, and the list goes on. As to, for example, why not everyone is in love with your favorite food. This is called the qualia problem, and qualia is the fancy word for what something feels like to you. The redness of red, the bitterness of coffee, the sting of pain. No one else can ever step inside and feel your version. And this is not to say that it is a bug, but somehow living things have evolved with. For example, different animals have different realities. But wait a sec, what do I mean by this? Because they all live in the same world as us. So they should be experiencing the same reality. But actually, this is not the truth. This I became aware of when I was going through the images of this Instagram account, where they take pictures of flowers by capturing the different wavelengths that bees see. Somehow, the images with these new wavelengths captured make the flowers look more magical. And this is not limited to bees. For example, snakes see heat, and sharks sense electrical fields. And it is not that animals have to see different things, but also as a neuroscientist, I can tell you that although we all share a brain, the proportions of the brain areas are very different. For example, the mouse's brain area responsible for smell is huge when compared to the same area in the human brain. As you can see, basically here. These changes in proportion indicate what is important for the species. This means that humans do not rely heavily on smell, whereas mice, on the other hand, well, the sense of smell overpowers others. Can you imagine a world where you are guided by your smell rather than by what you see? Can you imagine what new things you would start noticing about the world around you? And what other things, like color, you would totally miss. And here's the kicker. Nature never cared about showing you the truth. It only cared about one thing: keeping you alive long enough to pass on your genes. And this idea was mainly proposed by the neuroscientist Donald Hoffman. So your brain is tuned to locating threats, food, and partners. That's it. The rest of reality? Well, that is filtered out. And that is evolution in a nutshell. If it did not provide an advantage to survival, the trait would have been lost over time. So, as you have probably caught up, we are just wired to survive. You are basically working as need-to-know basis. Your need is survive long enough to make babies. And this to me raises some alarm bells. Because what else is there that we are not seeing? Let me ask you this. If a tree falls in the forest and no one is there to watch it, did the event occur? I mean, yeah, physically it fell, right? But the experience of it falling, that only happens when someone's there to experience it. And this is similar with how our brain works. Here's the thing, you're not passively receiving reality. Your brain is constantly predicting what reality is. Like it's making an educated guess based on past experience and evolution. So, let me explain. If you have been on the internet long enough, you have seen the gorilla experiment. Go on, try it out. Your job is to count how many times the ball is passed around between the white shirt players. It was shown that many people focus entirely on the people wearing white shirts and ignore anything in black, even the large gorilla that dances in the middle of the screen. So, what this experiment teaches us is that when you are focused, you have selective attention. Your brain chooses what to let in and ignores the rest. Your brain is basically the same way ChatGPT works. It responds to prompts by deciding what information matters and ignoring the rest. Well, and now, let me show you a trick. Did you see circles or squares? Well, it doesn't matter for this video, because here's the core trick. Your brain doesn't see reality, it is just predicting it. And optical illusions exploit this and highlight that our brain is not feeding us with the raw data. The brain relies on fast processing, and it fills the gaps to make sense of the world. Illusions often take advantage of these processes by overstimulating the visual system or presenting incomplete data that the brain corrects based on learned assumptions. Crazy, no? And regarding learned assumptions, remember this image? Well, it turns out that depending on where you were brought up, depending if it was rural or urban, you either saw squares or circles. And this makes you wonder, what are you convinced of that there is one way, but in reality there might be more options? Yeah, it's made me think, and I see the world a little bit differently. Let me know if that's the same in the comments down below, maybe. In one of the episodes from Rick and Morty, it was once joked about a car battery powered by a tiny civilization. The people inside had no idea that they existed only to fuel someone else's machine. Funny, but also unsettling, because what if that is us? And this brings us to what we just covered. Your perception is constructed, it's filtered, it's predictive. What if all of reality works in the same way? If observation literally affects what becomes real? And at least in quantum physics this holds. And if every conscious being gets its own custom-made reality tailored for survival, then reality is basically being rendered moment by consciousness. Some scientists have actually suggested we might be living in a simulation. And somehow all of this sounds crazy. But at the same time, after all of this, is it really? And one mystery remains for sure. What is exactly consciousness? Some scientists think it may even involve quantum processes in the brain, which actually I cover in this video over here. And with this, thanks for watching and see you in the next one. Ciao!